Athens, one of the most revered societies in history, the birthplace of democracy, came to a devastating end in just a few short decades. Its people turned their hub of creativity and innovation into decline and ruin. This isn't just ancient history, it's a perfect demonstration of the law of irrationality, from Chapter 1 of Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. Today, we're going to watch Athens destroy itself from the inside. In 432 BC, a Spartan representative arrived in Athens with an ultimatum: accept terms that would curb your empire or face invasion. Sparta and Athens were polar opposites. Sparta, oligarchic, unbeatable on land. Athens, democratic, supreme at sea, and with vast economic power. For years, both avoided all-out war. The stakes were too high. The loser would forfeit influence, wealth, and their entire way of life. Now, conflict seemed inevitable. Days later, around 10,000 Athenian men gathered on Sphinx Hill. Debate raged. Some urged a surprise attack on Sparta. Others warned it would play into Sparta's land strengths and guarantee defeat. Many favored accepting the terms, but opponents argued it would only embolden the Spartans to build even greater forces. The arguments continued into the afternoon, until an elderly statesman stepped forward. Pericles. Pericles was beloved, and his opinion carried more weight than anyone's. Yet he was unusual. More of a philosopher than a typical politician, Athenian leaders often chased glory and risked everything for fame. They also aligned with factions like landowners, soldiers, aristocrats, and sided with them politically. Pericles sided early with the lower classes. Expanding their influence, he avoided overextending the empire, fearing it would stretch Athens too thin. In war, he prioritized smart strategy over heroic charges, minimizing losses. Critics called it unheroic, but his approach brought immense wealth. With full treasuries, Athens launched grand projects: temples, theaters, halls, and his crowning achievement, the Parthenon. Athena, goddess of wisdom and practical intelligence, was Pericles' guiding spirit. He embodied her qualities: decisions free of emotion and ego, always thinking through every possibility before acting. This philosophy defined Athens' Periclean Golden Age. Now, addressing the ancient crowd, Athenians, Pericles began. My views remain unchanged. I oppose concessions to the Peloponnesians, even knowing that the excitement pushes people into war and fades when reality sets in, and events change minds. He acknowledged a dilemma. Yielding invited weakness, and direct war played into Sparta's advantage. Instead, he proposed something bold: bring every man behind the city's walls. Let Spartans ravage the countryside, but don't take the bait. Rely on sea access for supplies, raid their coast with the navy, and over time, frustration and cost would wear Sparta down. Discredit their war party and force lasting peace with minimum Athenian lives lost. But reality diverged from the plan. Spartans grew bolder. Athenians watched their lands burn, and they grew restless. Pericles urged patience. It would take time, he would say. Then, in the war's second year, disaster struck. A devastating plague swept through the crowded city, killing vast numbers, including Pericles himself, who died in anguish as his life's work unraveled in a single year. Without him, grief turned to mass hysteria. Athenians blamed Pericles for the suffering, showing no mourning. The war party surged in popularity. As the city recovered, they launched offensives. Initial success made them push harder, but Sparta recovered, and the back and forth dragged on for years. By 415 BC, Athenians sought a decisive blow: capture Syracuse, Sparta's key Sicilian ally and supply line. Victory there could end the war swiftly. They sent 60 ships with full armies. As a massive fleet sailed the harbor, citizens dreamed of certain triumph. But months passed without news. Impatience grew, and they heard of Spartan reinforcements, so they doubled down, sending more ships. Then came the rumors: total defeat. Confirmation followed. The expedition was completely annihilated. No man, no ship left alive. Miraculously, Athens endured until the bitter end in 404 BC. Athens' downfall wasn't the result of some unavoidable fate or purely external enemies. It stemmed from something deeper within the human mind, something Robert Greene explores in this chapter as the core of the law of irrationality. When things go wrong, we tend to look outward for causes. We point to external factors, justify our pain by blaming others or circumstances beyond our control. Those external elements might even hold some truth, but they often miss the real issue: our own decisions, driven by our own irrationality. And that irrationality is fueled mostly by emotions. Take the 2008 financial crisis as a modern parallel.
I'm talking rock bottom FICO scores. No income verification.
Everyone blamed the banks, the government, the housing bubble, all external villains. But few investors pause to look inward. Greene calls this our fundamental irrationality. It's not something that strikes occasionally, it's how we operate. No one is exempt, not the ancient Athenians and not us today. This wiring comes from our evolutionary past. Long before cities like Athens rose, evolution equipped us with instincts tuned for survival. Fear kept us alive in the wild. Anger helped defend our status in tribes. Desires drove breeding and social bonds. As humans grow smarter, we develop language and abstract reasoning, but here's the friction. Our older, emotional brain, shaped by mammalian instincts, does not connect seamlessly to the newer, rational parts. Those emotional systems evolved for quick reactions in a dangerous world, pulling from patterns set 100,000 years ago. Meanwhile, our rational brain navigates a complex modern one. The two often clash, creating internal conflict. Greene concludes the chapter with a framework of approaches he observes for navigating these patterns. The first is to recognize biases when they are at work. He notes red flags that often signal the emotional side gaining ground. Extreme certainty about a decision, many peers sharing the same view, or attention focused on only supporting evidence while contrary information is ignored. Many of these appeared in Athens after Pericles passed. The second is awareness of inflaming factors that heighten the emotional brain's influence. Greene identifies many, but here are 4 I liked. Trigger points from early experiences that can elevate your emotions, certain people who provoke outside reactions due to past associations, sudden large gains or losses which breed overconfidence or desperation, and mounting stress or pressure, which steadily loses control to older instincts. The third involves tracing one's own recurring patterns and trigger points through honest observation. This mapping reveals the frequent gap between what one feels and what is actually occurring. Pericles maintained something close to this clarity in his decisions. Its absence after his death left Athens and its leaders to make emotion-based decisions. In the end, the chapter returns to its central point. Even a society grounded in reason can come undone when emotion overtakes judgment. Greene maps a mechanism without promising escape. What becomes of that map is left to the reader. First of all, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and like, comment, subscribe if you feel that I did a good job. There'll be some citations in the description, namely Robert Greene's book. I'd really appreciate comments, anything. Thank you for watching and have a good day.